Hello and welcome back. We are in the 10K creative world and doing high-tech science. Last time we put together a little battery producing facility and it's really tiny. And thinking about it, I think it may actually be too small. I don't mean too small to supply the build. It's obviously big enough to supply the build we've made. I think possibly it is too small to be worth building. Something twice the size makes sense. So I'm wondering how else we can do this. Right, the first thing we need to do is figure out how to attach this build onto this build. So this is our high-tech science pots plus the copper smelters to run the copper coils. And there's a bunch of things about this that aren't quite how you would ideally want them. So let's go through and fix all that as we're going. Right, so first of all, this coil machine here is taking in copper plate. These are the copper smelters. So you take in a unit of copper here, you produce 1.2 units of copper plate. They then get flown down to here. So the very first thing is, I think if we pick this up and put it there, then it's being picked up from closer to the smelters. And we'll need to be consistent about what we do with this one. Okay. Well, let's carry on. Okay, so we can now pull out these. And it looks like we are angled to the left here. That's fine. Okay, the next thing is there's no output for these currently. So let's put in an output. And I would like to cap this to 1 stack. These take a long time to make. 1 stack is fine. Okay, there we go. Let's double check. Yeah, that's capped to a single stack. Okay. So this here should be essentially the same as this build here. Let's take a blueprint of this whole thing up to there. And we'll give it an icon so we can find it again. That'll do. Okay, so that's where we're going to be putting it down. Yeah, that looks fine. So let's pull out all of this. There we go. And put it back. Okay. What's next? Okay, we have loads of substations in this build. So what I'm going to do is do a filtering deconstruct for substations. There we are. And just take them all out. Okay. Now, it does make sense to use substations, but probably a bit more frugally. All right. Is that okay? Substations don't always drag well. No, so something's gone out of kilter here. Okay. Let's take these out. It's because of the substations in the middle of the build. Okay. And then there's nowhere to... Yep, that one goes there. That's good. So it looks like they can go over every end. That seems fairly regular. Okay, so again, we can flank that. Take out these substations. Take this. Put it down. Okay, we're just doing these little tidyings up. All right, so the next step. So this is a 1/4 build. This produces 2.5k of, let's just double check that it does produce 2.5k. Yeah, more than 2.5k. Great. So we could lose, I think, 1 potion machine. Let's double check. Right, so if we do this and lose 2, we were on 2.68, 2.49. Yeah, so we could lose 1 potion machine from this build. All right. This is our current attempt. Let's power that. This is our current attempt at the battery build. Okay. There was a reason I didn't want this powered up. But we need to get the power poles in. But before we do that, okay, so this is another case where so we're going to have a roboport down here. Now this roboport needs to cover the blue chests, but not the red chests. The red chests are going to be in the high-tech science build. So the closest we could have the roboport is there. All right. Okay, so we will get this powered up, and I'm just going to forfeit the ore that's being moved over. Right, so that does that. Then is there room for... Well, there is, but it doesn't really help. Let's get this done with cables. Okay, I think this is the layout. Let's get one of these. Okay, and I can... Didn't mean to take that blueprint out. That was a silly one to lose. Right, so this is our little repeating pattern. There we are. Okay, the next thing is, we're down here with our roboport. This is as close as we can put the roboport, so it would be kind of nice to put a rail in here. The difficulty being, so let's say we doubled this build up. So let's say it was either side of the rail. So then the closest to the middle we could put this build would be here. Let's double check. Yeah, here. And I'd kind of like to get them vaguely lined up. Let's do that for now. Okay. That will do. You could see there's definitely room for other stuff to go in the middle if we wanted to. And what we could do first of all is let's take that. Okay. So at the moment, we're pulling in ore out over here and putting out plates there. We're going to be having our ore trains in the middle. So let's rearrange this. Right. And then we'll do the same down here. Actually, there's a bunch of changes to make. So that's the iron and the copper. Okay. So now it's pulling in ore here, putting the plates out there. And in doing that, the plates are now being put out close to the battery machines. So this build is kind of backwards from normal. Normally the smelting is in the middle. Sorry, is on the outside and the product is in the middle. This one, it's kind of flipped around because we're trying to push all the material that way. Okay, so then take this blueprint again. We can take out all of this. Put it back. There we are. So then you'd have a rail. Let's find some rail. Yeah. So you'd run rail this way. There we are. Rail this way. We can put roboports here, and then leave gaps and unload our trains to the middle. And that should work fine. So provide. And I actually don't know how many trains we need here. I'm expecting it to be one carriage. All right, so that would be that kind of build. And then this leaves us plenty of room, if we wanted to fit the sulfur production in around here, if we decide that's the way we want to go. All right, so I would like to take a blueprint of this whole thing. That's it. And we're going to label this batteries. Great. And what we would like to do is attach that to this build. Now, it's got to overlap because we need to share these beacons. The problem with it overlapping is, as you can see, the beacons don't line up, which is a real problem. And I need them to line up because I need my battery machines running at capacity. I also need to line it up with the middle because the middle battery machine needs to output to the two halves of the build. So let's zoom in. This green line, let's do it with Hazardcrete. Okay. Okay, so this here is the midline. Here. So I need to make sure that the middle of, where is it? Here. I need to make sure the middle of this build lines up with the middle of that build. Okay, and now the problem is I've got rail in it, so I can't place it. Get rid of the rail. Okay, come back. Now we can place it wherever. So I would want to place it like that. And you can see there's a big problem with beacons not lining up. So we will figure this out in a minute. Let's put it down. Then we will pull up all of these beacons. Put it down again. There we go. Okay, and then we'll work out if it's actually a problem. So these should have 14 sources. That's got 13, 13, 13, 14. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 14. Okay, so this, so some of this can be fixed, I think, by, yeah, I think we can fix some of this by just shuffling some beacons. Right, so this one on the edge, this has 13 beacons. Okay, so it needs one extra beacon in there. There's a too wide gap. So now this has 14. Okay, and let's put in one more there. Okay, so this has 14, 14, 13. So this run of 3 here, they all have 13 beacons. All right, one option would be to just take them out. This has 14. Okay. This has 13. 13, 13, 14. So this run of 3 here again. We could just take them out. Okay. Which isn't, you know, the absolutely best thing. Okay, we have this special case here. Okay, that feeds into both builds. There we are. So we've lost 6 smelters. I think that's not a problem. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So there we are. So that's not ideal, but it might be good enough. Okay, and then the plan here would be, oh, that was another one I need. I need two different colors of blueprints, one for things I care about and one for things I'm editing. Okay. So then what we could do is take this and place it down there. There we are. So this is now a half build. This is now a half build for Gold Science, which looks pretty cool. I like that. Okay, let's try and recreate some of these blueprints, which I lost on the way. So we need a blueprint for a lone copper coil. Where is one? There definitely are some in this build because they're needed for the red circuit. Where is it? You're probably now screaming at me, telling me to look in the obvious place that's obviously there. No, I can't see it. I will probably find it once I've stopped recording because that's what happens with these things. Yeah, this should have a request for cable, and there should be cable fed in. Maybe there's a bug in the build. Well, anyway, oh, there it is. Right, so we need one of those. Right, let's get rid of that and that. This is our cable. Okay, and then we had a steel build, which I've lost. We can pick that up from a different map later. Okay, so that's it. We're going to leave it there. The next build we're going to do is the excuse me. The next build we're going to try and do is the speed module 1s for this. And again, I'm going to attempt to do that as an all-in, build everything on site, speed modules out type build. See how well it works. But until then, thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.